Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, a wise king wanted to find a new ruler. He asked all the young people from his kingdom to come to the palace for a special meeting. In a far-off village, there was a young man who didn't have much money. He worked very hard to get ready for his big trip to the palace. He thought he needed nice clothes and some things for his journey. On his way, he met a beggar who was very cold and didn't have nice clothes. The young man felt bad for him and gave him his new clothes and shared his food. The young man was worried that his old clothes might make him look bad at the palace, but he kept going. He tried to make himself look as good as possible, but when the king came in, the young man was shocked. The king looked exactly like the beggar he had helped. The king told him he was the beggar and wanted to see if the young man was kind, even to someone who looked poor. The king said, "Being kind makes you wise. It's more important than just being smart." Once upon a time in a beautiful forest, a lonely elephant searched for a friend. Monkey said, "Can't swing on trees." Rabbit said, "Den too small for you." Even frogs wouldn't be friends. Next day, a scary tiger came. Animals ran. Tiger chased a baby bear. "Get out of my way," roared the tiger at the elephant. The elephant wasn't scared. He fought the tiger and chased it away. The baby bear, saved, became the elephant's first friend. Soon, all the animals wanted to be the elephant's friend. Remember, friends come in all shapes and sizes. Don't judge by looks. In a faraway kingdom, kings only ruled 5 years. By law, they had to retire to a scary forest with wild animals. Many brave kings tried, but none returned. One day, the people chose a wise man to be their king. He said no at first. Then he said, "I accept, but on one condition. You must allow me to visit the forest first." The people, surprised, agreed. He found that the place is full of trees and dangerous animals. There were no facilities for survival. He decided to become the king. So the new king spent his 5 years wisely. In the first year, he started cutting some trees to make a safe path to visit forest. In the second year, he shifted the dangerous animals to the safest place. In the third year, he even started farms and built tiny houses. By the end, the scary forest was a peaceful place to live. The wise king proved, if you can manage the time well, you can making things better. Once upon a time, a man and his wife had the good fortune to have a goose, which laid a golden egg every day. Lucky though they were, they soon began to think they were not getting rich fast enough. They imagined that if the bird is able to lay golden eggs, its insides must be made of gold. And they thought that if they could get all that precious metal at once, they would get mighty rich very soon. So the man and his wife decided to kill the bird. However, upon cutting the goose open, they were shocked to find that its innards were like that of any other goose. Always remember to think before you act. Once upon a time, there was a little ant named Andy. He loved exploring the world around him. One sunny day, he found a big, juicy watermelon. Andy wanted to bring it back to his ant friends, but it was too heavy for him. He called for help, and a wise old ant named Oliver came to his aid. Oliver said, "Andy, even small creatures can achieve big things when they work together. Let's gather our friends." Andy and Oliver called all the other ants. They formed a line and pushed the watermelon together. It was hard work, but they didn't give up. They moved the watermelon bit by bit, helping each other along the way. Finally, they reached their anthill with the watermelon. The ants celebrated and shared the delicious fruit. They realized that by working together, they could do anything. From that day on, the ants always worked as a team. And so, the little ant named Andy taught his friends the importance of unity. They learned that even the smallest creatures can achieve big things when they help and support each other. Once upon a time, there were 4 friends. 3 of them knew magic, while the 4th one was just a regular guy. They went on a journey to find a way to earn money. In a forest, they found some bones under a tree. They thought it was a good chance to show their magic. The first friend used his magic to turn the bones into a skeleton. The second friend used his magic to cover the skeleton with flesh, making it look like a lion. The third friend was about to use his magic to bring the lion to life, but the fourth friend stopped him. He said, "If the lion comes to life, it might harm us." But the other friends didn't listen and brought the lion to life. As the fourth friend had warned, the lion attacked them. The fourth friend, who had climbed a tree, was safe. He returned to the village alone, reminding us that common sense is also a form of wisdom. Once upon a time, 3 strong men decided to build houses for themselves. The first strong man built his house quickly with mud, taking the easiest and fastest route. The second strong man chose sticks for his house, a slightly stronger but still quick option. The third strong man, however, decided to build his house with bricks, putting in the time and effort to create a strong and reliable shelter. When they finished building their houses, suddenly a storm approached them. The storm blew down the houses of mud and sticks, but the brick house was left unharmed, and the storm couldn't destroy it. The third strong man's careful planning and hard work paid off, and he and his house were safe. Remember, it is better to work hard and invest time in building a strong foundation rather than quick and easy solutions.
Once upon a time, there was a very lazy man living in a village. He always sought ways to get food without working hard. One morning, while wandering around the countryside, he decided to steal some apples to eat. As soon as he tried to pick an apple, a farmer saw him and started approaching. The lazy man, frightened, ran into the nearby forest to hide. As he walked through the forest, he came across an old wolf with only 2 legs. The man wondered how the wolf was surviving. Unable to run or feed itself, and with threats from other animals, the wolf was happily crawling around. Suddenly the man saw a lion approaching the wolf with a piece of meat in its mouth. Fearing for his own safety, the man climbed a tree. To his surprise, the lion left the piece of meat for the wolf to eat. The lazy man felt happy witnessing this act and thought it was part of God's plan. He believed that just as God had a plan for the wolf, there must be a plan for him too. He decided to sit and wait for someone to feed him, convinced that help would come. He waited for 2 days without any food. Finally, unable to bear the hunger any longer, he left in search of food. On his way, he met an old sage. He told the sage everything and asked, "O wise one, God showed mercy to the crippled wolf. Why didn't he show mercy to me?" The old sage replied, "It is true that God has a plan for everyone, and you are part of his plan. But my son, you misunderstood his signs. God didn't want you to be like the wolf, waiting for help. He wanted you to be like the lion, strong and capable of helping others." The sage's words made the lazy man realize his mistake. He had misinterpreted God's signs and taken the wrong path. The man thanked the sage and vowed to change his ways. He decided to work hard and be self-reliant, understanding that true fulfillment comes from one's own efforts. Sometimes in life we can misread God's signs and take the wrong path. But it's never too late to reflect, learn, and change. By contemplating our actions and decisions, we can find a happier and more successful path. Remember, be like the lion, not the wolf.
Once upon a time, a mouse noticed that the owner of the farm set a mouse trap. He told this to the chicken, sheep, and cow, but all of them answered, "The mouse trap is your problem. It has nothing to do with us." Later, a snake was caught in a mouse trap and bit the farmer's daughter. The farmer, trying to heal her, made chicken soup for his daughter. Afterwards, slaughtered a sheep to feed everyone who came to visit the daughter. Unfortunately, the daughter died, and the farmer slaughtered the cow to feed it to the guests at the funeral of his daughter. All this time, the mouse watched what was happening through a hole in the wall. Always remember, if something doesn't concern you, Don't directly think that this is something that will not hit you on the head. Once upon a time, a group of hunters was walking through the forest. They got lost. Their leader was selfish and did not want to share food with other hunters. "Get away from me!" shouted the leader. The hunters sadly left him. The selfish hunter wandered the forest for days. He fell to the ground and injured himself. He couldn't walk. He heard the pack of wolves running towards him. The wolves surrounded him. He thought, "This is the end for me." The wolves started to hurt him, and the hunter could not fight them. Suddenly, the hunter heard a loud sound. He saw his group of hunters coming together as a team to help him fight the pack of wolves. The hunter, together with his team, managed to scare the wolves. "Why did you come back to help me?" asked the leader. "Because we are a team. Just like the wolves that are strong in a pack, we are also stronger as a team."